Dinnebray TV, got the gaffer Michael Kennedy here after Darvel run out final winners against Bonnet at Synergy Arena. Just give us your thoughts on the game, Mick, please.
Probably first 45 minutes as poor as we've been all season, to be fair. After probably the last 6 weeks we've been really strong. I just thought, even though we went into 2-0 up, to be fair, I was really unhappy with the performance. We were so lacklustre at times. Comfortable though in possession a lot of the time, but no penetration, no intensity to it. Then obviously we go in at half time, reset and we came out second half. Thought the game we started the second half not particularly great either. Probably the first 10-15 minutes, then the last 30 minutes was probably, I don't know, probably some of the football was excellent again. Scored some really good goals, especially the last one was exceptional. Probably could have scored a couple more, but the last parts of the game weren't really good enough.
Absolutely. What do you think that's down to? Obviously, first half it looked as if they're probably just going through the motions a wee bit. Don't know whether the guys a bit tired, or were they just struggling to get to grips with the game, or?
No, I think it's just not come the right attitude, to be fair. No disrespect to Bonnet, and I know obviously the league position's not the greatest at the minute, so I don't know if there's some of the boys coming here and think that they're just going to turn up and go through the motions, but I came here and watched Bonneton play against Talbot, and they were in the game for a long spell. They obviously beat Pollock here, they've picked up some good results, so you need to take everybody with utmost respect. And I just felt for the first 45 minutes particularly that we just felt we were just going to turn up and Bonneton were just going to let us play through them, and the reality is it didn't turn out like that.
No.
We just weren't even good enough, to be fair. It'd take half time for me to go in and lose my rag and reset things a wee bit.
Absolutely.
Listen, the main thing is we've got 3 points and we move on to the next week, but it was never good enough for last parts.
Absolutely. In the second half, the substitutions come probably at a good time. Darren's probably a wee bit tired. Put in a good performance in that. I felt when Ryan Thompson come on, it helped shore things up in midfield. Let Maka play a wee bit more with more fluidity, so to speak. And David Galt done well as well. You must be pleased with them. Obviously, they've not the most game time recently.
I think if you look at our bench today, then even look at the boys who are not even involved, like Ross Crodwell, Craig Moore, who are just they'll probably start in full training next week. Cam Eadie's not far away. Then you look at the depth in squad. I think obviously the quality we've got through the group, because everybody's coming back to full fitness now. You can see that. Then you're putting subs on Tomo's quality, Jordan Allen's and David Galt. You would expect him to go and make an impact, because the reality is they're good enough to start, and I think that's what happened. I think that was a lot today. The last 30 minutes, David and Tomo going on, particularly in the middle to tap end of the park, and we were excellent. So, but listen, it's 3 points and we move on. I think we now need to get ready for Gretna next week at home, and it'll be good to get back to Ring Ground for a game.
Absolutely. I mean, and you touched on there obviously the likes of the bench and that you've got. I know obviously it's good to have healthy competition and stuff. How do you keep all these players happy, I suppose?
The reality is I don't really worry about that, to be honest with you. I think ultimately they need to try and keep me happy.
Yeah.
That's always been my view. I don't particularly,
sure.
You know me by now, I don't particularly mind who plays, as long as we win, get 3 points, I'll go in the next round at the cup, whatever the challenge may be in that particular day. I'm not really interested in personal priorities for people. I told them all that when they come here, they need to buy into the group, they need to buy into the club, and ultimately for us to be successful and move forward, they need to sacrifice ourselves at times, and that's just part of being here. Ultimately, if they decide they don't want to be part of that, then obviously the decision is you don't need to be here.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, they know, they're all told at the very outset when they come. I just want to pick a team that's going to win this Saturday. I'm not interested in who that is.
Excellent. And the focus obviously shift, as you say there, Gretna next week. How tough a game's that likely to be?
Aye, listen, again it's at home, which is a good thing. I'm glad to be back at home, back in amongst the fans and that. We've been on a great run, to be fair, but it's just another game, it's part of with the momentum moving forward, and I think it's important we just keep plugging away. We're taking each week as it comes at the minute, and we're progressing nicely along, and we'll see where we end up. I think it's important to try and it will be good to get to the Christmas break, then analyse and assess where we'll be in the first half of the season and see what challenges lie ahead in the second half.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. 3 points and up the road. Well done, Gaffer.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.